Hey, have you ever noticed how you can feel completely fine until you're around certain people? Nothing obvious happens, but something in you shifts. Something that feeling isn't random. Sometimes it's not, but it is your awareness. Welcome back to my channel, Oracle Rose Healing Tarot. Hey, Divine Collective, I'm so glad you're here with me today. We're going to be doing a reading, as you can see. It's talking about energy around certain people. All right. There are moments when your energy changes depending on who you're around. I mean, that's just the way that it is. Not in a dramatic way, but in a way that makes you pause and notice. You might feel more quiet, more alert, or even slightly off without fully understanding why. This message is going to explore what it means when your energy shifts around certain people and how your awareness may be helping you recognize something important. All right. But before we get into it, take a moment to like the video. When you like the video and share the video, it helps the messages reach the people. It helps my channel grow. I want to say thank you for coming back. Thank you to my new subscribers, and thank you for the people who watch me. I hope that this information is helping you, okay? And I'm hoping that you can share this information so others can benefit from these conversations. And if you're into messages like this, subscribe to this channel because I'm telling you, you're going to get some good stuff over here. Thank you, Divine Collective, for helping build the channel and for being part of this space. Now, take what resonate and leave the rest for the universe to recycle. All right, I'm glad you guys are back here today. We're going to be doing a reading on how to keep that energy in place around certain people. And I'm not just saying certain people that make you feel like you want to snap, but even people where you might be feeling like your romance or your chemistry or your attraction is going off haywire. It could be any kind of emotion that's making you ungrounded or uncentered. All right. But before we get started, you already know we need to do a prayer so we can invite in the Holy Spirit and the divine to actually assist us in these messages. So watch your ears, and here comes the bell, okay? I give thanks to the Most High, Divine Spirit, for being here, for surrounding us with healing energy, and for guiding today's messages. By the grace of the Most High and the Holy Spirit, this space is filled with love, peace, light, and all energies that do not serve our highest good are transmuted into love, healing, and renewing energy. Now let's step into this reading together. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get a lead card out here. I hope everybody's doing well today. It's one of those days, but it's spring and the spring has sprung and it's time to get moving because we're going to be in harvest season. All right. Everybody's going to be reaping what they have sown. And so, collective, you've been sowing good seeds. And so you can look forward to all the goodness that you have to come. Okay. All right. So we're going to be asking Divine for the first card out. The shift we're feeling collective because we're on this healing journey. So now our awareness is heightening. And so we're coming in contact with people we've known all these years. And so we're going to ask the Most High, the Holy Spirit, and the ancestors, what's that shift? All right. That was two that came out. I'm going to put them back in. Let's see here. Let's see here. We're going to be using a regular tarot deck. And I also have an oracle deck. Both are named because I just like the design of the cards. They spoke to me. So let's just see what we can get out here. All right. So a two of swords in reverse. All right. Now the shift we're feeling collective. This card is about the subtle shift in how you feel around certain people. Now it may not be obvious, but you notice it. Okay. And we're talking about swords. All right. And when you're talking about swords, you already know that we're talking about, maybe moving in the wrong direction when it comes to certain people. All right. You might feel like when you get around certain people that you're getting off square. All right. And what this is telling me that you might even be ignoring that feeling. All right. Sometimes we overlook subtle shifts when they don't make immediate sense to us. But you got to remember that the body responds before the mind can catch up. All right. So the good way to get in tune with that is a technique I looked up. It's called a check-in. like a check in with yourself, what you're doing, you're noticing how you feel in different environments. So that can kind of help you understand your awareness a little bit more. You don't want to be ignoring yourself. You're always honoring yourself, because collective, only what you sense and what you go through is actually your reality. And so looking for any external validation is just going to skew your clarity and what have you. So it's very, very important that you notice how you feel in different environments and what's going on around you, so you can better shape your awareness. Okay. All right. So your energy responds first. And I was just saying that. I say your body responds first before your mind can catch up. And so let's just ask the divine what's going on before the mind understands something. That energy is going to react. So we're going to ask divine, what's the cards? What's the message? What's the energy that the collective is being brought into? And so it's a 10 of cups in reverse. Okay. Now, cups is about emotions. It's about, it could be about creativity, any of that. All right. But when we're talking about cups, we're talking about 10 of cups in reverse. We're talking about loss, betrayal, sadness, people crossing you, all kinds of things like that. Okay. And so before, I'm gonna tell you something. When I'm looking at this is telling me that if you're turning all your feelings over in your cups, you're actually dismissing your feelings, collective. And you got to understand that we've been taught so long and bamboozled to ignore feelings and to project them out on other people, trying to get other people to validate them or confirm them. But the truth of the matter is, it is up to us, each and every one of us, to make sure we understand who we are, our inner selves, okay? Before we can even really try to interact with anyone else, okay? And so, what this is telling me, this card in reverse like this, is that, ignoring your initial response can delay clarity in anything that you got going on. Okay. So you got to notice your first feelings, not pay attention to everything else. All the rest of it is noise to throw you off your path and throw you off your clarity, and get you away from your intuition. All right. So, how this is going to work, your first emotional response often gives you the most valuable insight that you got when you come in contact with somebody. All right. Not saying that your you gotta it's more like your first feeling, like your gut feeling. All right. Not your ooh, I think I'm in love, like love at first sight. No, it's something a little bit more resonant than that. Okay. All right. But it's not always about words. So we're gonna ask the divine, because we already know it's not always about words. Energy is not heard, it's resonated. So we're gonna ask the divine, what's the energy we're looking out for certain people. All right. The collective wants to know, as we're on this healing journey, what's the energy? All right, it jumped over and it was a Knight of Wands in reverse. A Knight of Wands in reverse. Now, it's not always about words. Sometimes it's nothing is said, okay, but you're feeling something, collective. And that's because awareness isn't limited to words. All right. A lot of times people be telling you you can't prove something. Some people can know that they're downright telling lies to you. And because you know within your own intuition, or something that's resonating with them, something that's just totally off with them, and you've clocked it. And so therefore you've registered that this person is not being honest with you. But these people want to make you believe that you have to prove something that you already instinctively know. Collective, don't fall for it. You're sensing something even in the silence. That's what this card is telling me. All right. And this Knight of Wands in reverse, all it's giving up is here is that you're probably when it come around certain people, you're probably not paying attention to them because you're probably bored with them, or they're probably not. You think they're not doing too much for anything for you to focus on. And so basically what this is telling me is that, collective, you may be overlooking some nonverbal cues, okay? So focusing only on the words, you can miss some deeper meanings and some deeper understandings when people are giving off, they're letting you know about them. And it's not always about words. A lot of times when you're dealing with narcissistic energy, they really want to talk your ears off until they bleed. They want to be able to get you to listen to their words and get you to defy what you feel and what you see and what and that's very assaultive on your energy. So just imagine if you're doing it to yourself. All right. So basically, the technique is going to be to observe the energy collective. Okay. You got to observe the energy that's in the room, the energy that's around you. Now, I'm just watching. Hold on for a second. I don't know how to stop my camera or what have you, but I'm just looking at my how my incense had burned. I love these incense, but however, it had burned up to a certain point and then it just stopped. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get it going in the camera because I be always smoky over here. All right, smoky. All right, get the ambiance going back on over here. And I had even worked on some Palo Santos and got that going. You know what I mean? I had blessed my cards, thank the ancestors, thank the divine, always before we start, but sometimes before I start the camera. Okay. All right. But basically, I was just saying, excuse me, somebody trying to get throat chakra. You probably overlooking the nonverbal cues when it comes to people. All right, you probably focusing only on the words, missing the deeper understanding. You got to make sure that you're paying attention. Observe the energy around you. Pay attention to what it isn't being said. Okay, because that can reveal more than what is being said. Okay, people like to be tricky with their words. They like to cast spells. You know that. All right. So a lot of times you can't let somebody like charm you with just their words all the time. I know I have people that I know who get angry at me because they're not able to get me to acquiesce to what they want me to do, what they want me to think, or how they want me to feel just by talking to me repetitively, aggressively, even and argumentatively. I mean, it's crazy at times. But those are the people you have to cut off collective, okay? All right, so the next card out is going to be, there's going to be some things that are going to be familiar but different. So you need to be able to recognize some energy because sometimes a feeling reminds you of something you've experienced before, and that familiarity can be a signal collective. So we're going to ask the divine, what kind of energy are we looking for, divine? What's to help here? And what came out was a Four of Wands upright. Four of Wands upright. All right. So what this is telling me is that maybe you see the pattern. You see how uniform this card is and how everything is lined up. We're talking about wands too. All right. So we're talking about action. We're talking about harmony and things like that. And when you're talking about wands, you're talking about coming together. All right. And your awareness may be connecting to a moment that you're going through with people around you, certain people, to a past experience. You have to watch out for that collective. All right. Because you be thinking, this is familiar. Okay. And the thing you gotta do is connect the dots, because what's going on here, just because something is familiar doesn't always means that the results of that familiarity is going to be the same. All right. So sometimes looking at the past experiences can help bring clarity to the present, but not if you only see it from a lens in which you are unhealed or, victor. Okay. You have to be honest with yourself. Okay. All right. And sometimes that's going to help you with your clarity. All right. Now, the next card out is we're going to be asking divine about reacting, because collective, you don't have to react to everything. That's part of the healing. That's part of the healing journey, calling back your energy to yourself. So we're going to ask the divine because, feeling something doesn't mean you have to act on it immediately. Your awareness wants you just to understand, not to react, you know. So let's just see. And what came out was a eight of pentacles upright. All right. So noticing something without responding right away. That's what you got going on, collective. This card is telling me these Eight of Pentacles energy is saying you have some emotional control. You may even be learning how to observe before reacting. I mean, we've been doing so much healing work here. I know that now you're just really resting. You're in that soft energy, male or female, it doesn't matter. You're not in any hard pressured energy. So this is good. Collective, pat yourself on the back because I know that pause has been working for you. Because with this Eight of Pentacles energy, what we're looking at is, you know, using them skills. You know, you got your skills and you're making sure that you're learning what you're using here, like the pause technique. Okay. So I know you must have been using it because the energy is telling me so. Thank you, Divine, for that card. Because a collective, you already know, taking a moment allows your awareness to become clearer. Okay. You can become clearer, not be all muddled and, emotionally weighed down, in some thoughts that are no longer serving you. Now, if these messages are resonating with you so far, take a moment to like the video and share it with someone who values awareness and personal growth. Now, collective, your support helps this channel reach more people and helps the channel to continue to grow. Thank you, Divine Collective, for helping build this community. And if you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss the future messages, okay? I appreciate you. Thank you. Now, come on, guys, and hype up the video if you feel so. I know I don't have much going on, but if you can get me out there in that algorithm and just imagine if we all get the healing together, it's not going to always be kumbaya, but if everybody got skills, it's bound to get better. All right. Next card we're going to be talking about, not every feeling needs an explanation, and you know that, collector, because we've been saying don't waste your energy around here. But we already know that you may not always understand why you feel something. Okay. That's okay, collective. It's okay. All right. Awareness doesn't always explain things right away. It doesn't explain itself when it rises up in you either. But you'll probably notice the energy. So we're going to ask the divine, what is an energy that we might be in? And what came out was the King of Pentacles. Woo, I know that's right. All right. So look at this card. This is telling me a King of Pentacles. I mean, a Nine of Pentacles. I'm sorry, a Nine of Pentacles. Trust those feelings. You're a 9, you're almost a 10. Come on. Trust your feelings, collective. Okay? Your awareness is guiding you even before you can even fully understand it. You've been cleaning up your energy on this journey around here. You've been participating in your own rescue. You've been taking yourself seriously. You've been putting yourself first. You've healed your inner child. There's so many things that you've been pulling back even slightly in certain interactions. Okay? So you got it going on. This Nine of Pentacles, you already know this is that big mom, big daddy energy right here. You know, I mean, you got luxury, independence, success. You got it going on. You know what I mean? So this card is telling me, collective, you are honoring your limits, and that's amazing. But you are amazing. It is what it is because you already know, collective, respecting your boundaries supports your emotional balance. Okay. And it's all good. All right. All right. So what we're going to be doing on the next one, we're going to be talking about letting yourself, and also too, this card is telling me too, you letting yourself feel too. You're letting yourself feel, and that's good. All right. So the next card is, now that your boundaries are shifting, I know your awareness is growing, your comfort level is changing because it feels different. I know it do. Because your comfort levels are changing, collective. It's going to happen. What used to feel normal before feels different now. I know I feel different. I feel like a whole different person. I know people probably saying I've been cloned. Now I'm probably at the point where people were putting, stories on my name, but they had been doing that before, collective. So I was just like, I don't really care. I just been ascending, resting, calming my nervous system, doing things that come to me that are healing and whole, and just honoring myself, eating well, smelling good, looking good. You know how we are, collective. And so, a lot of people who are used to seeing us in that down energy don't know that behind the scenes we are healing ourselves and we're coming out better and better every day. But that's okay. They're gonna know about those boundaries though. All right. So we're gonna ask Divine about some energy to carry with us about your boundaries and what you may be feeling. Let's just ask Divine help. Uh, Tell us, Holy Spirit. Okay. All right. And this is an Eight of Cups. And also a lot of cups out here. And they're all in the reverse, too. Well, so far the ones that have come out, we got the 10 up there, the 8 cups, so 18 cups in a reverse. I don't know if this means a big effort or what have you, but taking a look at this card when it comes to your boundaries, it could say that that ignoring may be some causing you some discomfort, collective. And I'm gonna be for real. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm ignoring people. I feel like I'm open, but if I, like around certain people, if I've reached out to you and you haven't responded after a couple of tries, I'm inclined to believe that you don't want to speak to me. Or if you call certain people and every time you call them, they chit chat with you for a few minutes and then they're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to call you right back. And then that never comes again until the next time you call them. You got to start, paying attention to stuff like that. All right. Because this is telling me you pushing past your feelings, and that can lead to you feeling imbalanced, collective. And also to this 8 of Cups, like I told you, it's like your energy is being poured out, you know, or you might be using the healing energy in ways that it's not helping you. All right. So make sure you just allow yourself to feel things. Let yourself feel without rushing to explain. You know, create some space for your clarity. That's all you got to do. It's about you. You are main character, whether you want to be or not. It's like in this healing journey, the Most High Divine pushes us out main front. Imagine a stage, and it's a spotlight, but it's the light of the divine, all the love that's shining toward you, collective. Okay. So you're gonna have to become more selective, and we're gonna ask the divine because this is new to us. It's that star energy almost, and then a lot of us don't know how to be like that. A lot of times, a bunch of us were just getting in where we fit in. But now we got to be more selective, and a lot of us want to be our same loving, healing selves, but everybody can't have access to us because they'll ravage us. They'll try to get all our energy. They'll try to get everything that we're being blessed with, collective. You know what I mean? So you got to be selective. And so we're going to ask the Most High Divine out and which energy is the best energy to be in to do that. We're going to ask the Most High Divine. Okay. Oh, that jumped out. All right. The Magician. Hallelujah. I know that's right. Divine said, be right here. Because awareness is going to become natural. It's going to lead us more, and we're going to be more intentional about where we placing our energy, collective. Not everything needs our attention anyway. All right. And the magician, you already know you got skills, you got confidence. The magician is a powerful manifester. All right. So what this is telling me is that we're going to have full discernment, collective. We're going to use discernment because we're healing here, and that's what we're gaining. That's a spiritual gift that you gain on a spiritual healing journey. All right. So also collective, you might be becoming more selective with your energy already. Because if you over here and having peace and all that, I know you didn't cut people off, and I know you have detached and you clock certain energy and all of that, and you just like, hey, I choose me. Okay. And a lot of times we get here and we never know what's coming up because this is new territory. So we're just going to ask the divine. Now we're all clear and everybody around us is in muddy waters. It's like sometimes clarity after the moment has passed. We want to know what comes after that. Like what didn't make sense at first start to become clear. And so divine is going to be really showing us things that we haven't seen before. It's almost like getting our lens adjusted. All right. And you may not even know what that energy is. All right. But you might start realizing things later. And so we're going to ask divine, what kind of energy is that? Especially when we be around certain people we've always gone around. All right. 7 of Pentacles upright. Okay. All right. So 7 of Pentacles. We gotta push through. We gotta have faith, you know. And what this is telling me is that, even though we might have some clarity that comes afterwards, we're gonna start realizing things later. Cause the awareness we're gonna get around after being around certain people is gonna reveal insight over time into who certain people really are. I'm telling you, there has been times when I've thought I've known people. And when the veil gets pulled back and you actually see them, it can be jarring. It can be really, really jarring. And and a lot of times you be like, I knew it. But to actually see it with your own eyes, oh yeah, it could be something really, really off putting. All right. But the good thing you have is reflection that you can do later as a technique. And how that helps you collective is that when you look back, it helps you to understand what you felt in the moment and how you connect the dots and how you are about certain people and how you really get to the true energy that you're coming in contact with. Because you got to remember too, everybody is not always presenting as authentic when they come around you. Just because you healed and it feels better to be that way, collective, that does not mean that's what everybody else is going to be doing. That does not mean that at all. Okay. So we got to be moving around here with awareness. All right. So we're going to ask the Most High Divine, the best energy to be in, be moving around with awareness, because the goal isn't to question everything. Yeah, we're not hyper scanning the perimeter for all danger. No, we're in peace. We're unbothered. It's to move with awareness. Like I clocked it. I see you. I see what's going on. Because when you understand how you feel, you move differently, collective. All right. So we're gonna ask the divine what we need to be feeling more intentional in our interactions. Okay. What kind of energy? All right. We're gonna ask. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, two came out and they going back in. All right, let's see if we can get this card. All right, and what came out was the Page of Wands in reverse. Okay, so this Page of Wands in reverse, what it's telling me is that um might be moving unconsciously, collective. Like you still not honing in. You kind of like, I'm not saying you walking around dazed and confused or anything like that, but you basically have become comfortable in being in certain settings and being around certain people. And there may be things going on around you that may be under your nose. So, and I'm just saying, without awareness, patterns can repeat themselves. A lot of times, when you're looking for people to give you confirmation on something when you're experiencing with somebody else, Like they always do that to me, don't they? Don't they? The other person ain't caught it yet. They haven't caught the pattern. You've caught the pattern, especially if you are the target of the energy that this person is sending to you. Okay. And this page of wands in reverse is telling me, collective, we need to stay aware. So you're going to have to be checking in with yourself regularly to strengthen your clarity. Okay. That's what we're going to need. Okay. Now we're going to do the oracle cards because you already know when we get to this point in the reading, I like to do a couple of things. So certain people, I thought these cards would be fun. I looked through them. I saw some things. I was going to bring out some messy cards or maybe some. I was looking for the kipperish, but I wasn't called to use that today. So we're just going to use this one and see what the divine says about certain people. I'll read what comes to me on the energy. All right. So let's just get some cards out and see. That was the messiest cut ever. But let me tell you, it works. All right. So let me get some cards out. All right. So what came out was ascension, learning, expansion, transcending, preparing for union and a new phase. Okay. Yeah, we're going to be doing that when it comes to certain people. We're going to start not looking at them with like the good eye or anything, but just noticing your energy around them. Okay. Because that awareness is going to tell you who's who. All right. And don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. All right. All right. So what came out was people who left you heartbroken, maybe deeply hurt and sad, feeling lost, grieving, despaired in the breakup. Certain people do that, and they'll do it to you over and over, collective, if you let them. Okay, I've been there. I've been wanting to stabilize certain relationships with family members and what have you, and they're just not allowing it. They're not allowing it, and they may even be doing it intentionally, hoping that I feel sad or what have you. Same with you. Certain people may be trying to commandeer you or emotionally manipulate you or what have you. Make sure that's not happening because we're ascending. Okay. We're ascending away from heartbroken. And what came out with that was too because we're moving on to paradise. Okay. And certain people can't go. And when we get to paradise, certain people gonna be there, and they're gonna be happiness there, joy, playfulness. We're gonna be enjoying each other. We're gonna be in a honeymoon phase, collective. Wouldn't you want that over anything else that you could have with somebody else? I know I would. Not everybody's trying to be out here having a flame summer, But hey, some people are. Hey, all right, let's see what else we can get out. And these just jumped out, so I'm going to take them. All right, so certain people might be the dragonfly. Okay, and the dragonfly could be you, collective, lighthearted, adapting, finding out, changing things as they come to light and healing. That's what we're talking about. Being aware around certain people in your energy. Okay, no matter how much you may want someone, you can't make somebody love you if they don't. You can't make somebody act right if they won't. All right, collective. All right, no problem. All right, and the next thing is people who shock you, throw you into sudden changes, give you shocking newses. I ain't gonna say I said newses, but like shocking news, surprise and epiphanies and transformation. Okay, now you might get shocked too, collective. It might be you might get around certain people and have a certain shock, like, whoa, I didn't even know. Now that you are paying more attention to your inner being, your intuition, and your healing, and you can hear it more, you might be shocked around certain people. Like, man, I never knew. I told you when the veil gets pulled back, mm, it's almost like you see something. I remember one movie I saw one time. It was Devil's Advocate, where the lady was slipping a dress over her head, and she was looking at the woman, and her face changed all of a sudden. You'd be surprised if you see something wrong when your awareness comes. But I'm not here to like scare you. I'm here to let you know that everything has power, but nothing has spiritual authority over you, collective. So I'm just gonna say, sometimes the way you feel around up someone is your awareness picking up on something you before you can fully explain it, collective. And the more you start paying attention to those moments, the clearer things begin to feel. Now, I want to thank you, Divine Collective, for being here, for your presence, for helping to build this space together. Your energy, your awareness, and your support continue to grow this channel in a real way. And if this message resonated with you, then this is where healing becomes you and you participate in your own rescue. I'll see you in the next reading.